Welcome, Sacramento soccer fans, to the State of the Republic podcast. I'm your host, Luis, and in today's episode, we got a few things to talk about. First things first, the last-minute tie at Brooklyn, our first ever match at Brooklyn. So we'll talk more about how that game went down. And join us, you guys have heard him here a few times, is Jon Crawford, who actually went to Brooklyn to watch the match. So he'll tell us a little bit more about what it was like to witness the game there. We know it's a baseball stadium, so we'll hear more about what it was like to be there and his journey getting to the stadium. Also, we'll talk about USL Cup. For those of you who might have forgotten or it might be your first time watching, we'll talk about the format and how that is going to work out. And then, of course, leading to that, we'll talk about Saturday's first Cup game against Spokane Velocity at home, 7 p.m. start time is the time for that match. And then, of course, podcast winner dinner. How did we do this past week with our proxy picks? And then, of course, we'll close the podcast out here as usual. All right, well, let's go ahead and introduce our team for the day. But, before we get to the team, let's go ahead and introduce our special guest first. All right, a little different format here. Apologies for the quick here. We were having some technical issues, but Jon, welcome to the podcast. How's it going?
Very good. Yourself?
Doing well. Really glad that you were able to make it out there, because as you were talking to us offline, it seemed like it wasn't a place that a lot of people would want to travel to even locally, right? Based on the weather.
Brooklyn's fun. Brooklyn is its own area, and there's a lot of different things to do, and real characters in the area, and the food. It's a different type of food, but it matches Sac in great variety and good quality.
Well, that's good. I'm glad you went through the weather, but you're able to enjoy all that. All right. Well, you guys can see here on the screen, if you're watching on the video version, we have Sharon and Jared. Again, we had some technical issues earlier, so we had to keep them on screen. But first, let's go over to Elk Grove with Sharon. How's it going, Sharon?
It's going good. Just want to kind of dive into Jon's experience being at the match, because you always ask us who are at the match what it was like, what we saw, because there are things that we didn't get a chance to see and hear that Jon did. In other words, there were maybe 150 people at the stadium, is what I recall him saying. Anyhow, we should get Rion on the screen to balance everything out and to see if we get any more technical difficulties.
Ooh, yeah. Well, let's go ahead and add Rion to the screen. Let us know, Jon, if there's any more technical difficulties on your end. But Rion, how's it going? How are you feeling?
Testing, Jon.
I gotcha.
Okay, cool. Awesome. Yeah, things are going great here. Finished up the work week just a couple hours ago, so happy I'm on my weekend. Yeah, Jared, how are y'all doing?
I am so glad that time recording. I just have one more work day, 4 hours, and I'm good to go for the weekend. And just waiting to talk about this past match in Brooklyn, and looking forward to the Prinks Tires Cup starting up this Saturday. We got a lot to cover as far as this goes.
Yeah, lots going on. We're back to the USL Cup and trying to make that run again to the final, but this time actually be able to get it here. All right, well, let's go ahead and talk about the game that happened on Tuesday. Kind of a weird night for a league game. Usually those are Open Cup nights. But before we get to talk more about the things that happened on the pitch, Jon, go ahead and just let us know what your journey was to get to Coney Island to watch the game, and then your overall experience around the stadium.
No, actually, unlike my trip to Huddersfield, which had all sorts of air issues, the airlines got me where I was going. I mean, I flew to LA first in order to get a direct flight overnight from LA to JFK. Eventually got to the hotel in Brooklyn, and from there it was just going out, seeing the neighborhood, eating a lot, eating good stuff. Love the Jewish delis, love the pizza. It's fantastic from that standpoint. Day of the game, I found myself going through over to Coney Island, ran into Danny Vitiello's mother-in-law at the aquarium, and then that family, and took some of the scarves I was gonna try to exchange with Brooklyn fans and gave it to them because they were a little swag short, and so they were able to wear those at night. But by that time in the afternoon, it just started getting really cold, and walking up and down the boardwalk, and the wind starting to come off the ocean. It was just, there was a chill in the air. So by the time I actually got into the stadium to watch the match, I was probably about 7 layers deep, sweatshirts and jackets, and I think I ended up with 2 full scarves on and a few other things. It just got really chilly.
So I like the fact that afterwards you showed a picture on everywhere on social media of a little shot that warmed you back up, and Jared responded, "Now you need to get warm on the outside." It really was that cold.
It was that cold, and I, thanked the one bartender at the Hilton there. He did a really good job getting me the right scotch that I needed at that time. So, but, go ahead.
The gloves, the guys wear. How many guys wore gloves? How many of our players wore gloves?
I think only 2 or 3. I mean, most, I didn't see gloves. There were some long sleeves that I could think of. I was watching the game more so than their dress. But it was kind of interesting that I heard some people back in the stands, talking about, some of the guys wearing the really short socks, and it's like, why in the heck were you doing that? This is the type of game where you get the longest ones you can and pull them all the way up. But it was kind of funny when Jack went in, seeing his super short shorts, and it's just, oh my gosh, that must be freezing.
Was that not a welcome sight to see Jack come back out and start playing again? How did you feel when you saw him step on?
Well, I saw him out working out at halftime and figured, he may be actually coming on. I was thinking only like a 10-minute, job, but he was there. What was 55, 58th minute? They put him in, and immediately you could hear him on the field. You could see, his crosses are just so much more accurate and with a lot more power on them. It's really fun to watch that. And then he had worked up really quickly with Chamberlain.
Cambridge.
Excuse me, I get the mix the names up. But Cambridge, and he, Cambridge was giving him some looks every now and then, because it was like, but I'm supposed to be going forward, and Jack saying, no, I am. And that was right in front of me. So it was fun to see that interaction. I'm not going to say too much more because Jack might get in trouble with the coach, but no, but you could see that he wanted it more. And when it led to the penalty, he actually was calling for it and had told Cambridge, stay back. And then he took off. And that's when Freddie saw him. But he had been talking with Freddie a little bit about it ahead of time. So I think they were aware that there was something that they could do.
Like a little well-oiled machine. So when you were watching, did the field, from your perspective, being there live, look so small? Because it looked so small for us. And just listening to the announcers, there was such a clustering of players, and how easily Brooklyn were able to reassemble and block us out, and how we were able to do the same thing. It was a very strange look.
Yeah, it was the old squatty body feel. There was width. It did seem like they had adequate width, but the length, you could tell it was shorter, and that some of the stuff over the top was that much quicker, and especially going in the direction that we went in the first half with the wind behind you. So many of the balls ended up in the opposing keeper's hands. Just goal kick to the other keeper. It's hard not to do that. So I'd probably 15, 20 yards short, but there wasn't much room that they could actually move it. So I think they've got the most that they could out of it. But yeah, there was no midfield play. I mean, it was either really tight or there was not a lot of attempts to do a lot of midfield work. And again, one problem I always have is just seems like one or two of the guys is always told just to immediately put it back as opposed to turn and try to work their way through. It looked like guys were open, at least from the field level, that they could have just turned and gone forward. But boom, and one touch and back, pass to Freddie, and go back again, start the cycle again.
So I know Rion will be able to, he usually pulls up stats on passing accuracy or passing amount of touches. And I bet you Freddie and Lee had a lot because of that. And I don't know, Rion, if that was something you saw in the game watching it and also in the stats, because he already did his post-match report analysis, Rion did. And so he's usually pretty good about tracking those sorts of things. But yeah, those were frustrating moments, I think, for you being live there and also for us. And I'm trying to remember if in the chat we were like, gosh, they're going backwards again, or that, they're always having to reset. And I know, they reset a lot even to Danny Vidiolo. There's just a lot of resetting. And I don't know if you could tell if they were probing or trying to pull the other team out a little bit towards us so that there was more space to play. I don't know what you were seeing, Jon, but what did you see?
Well, the long ball wasn't working very well because they just outpaced us with head balls won, and I think hopefully that's what it shows in the stats. But from my perspective, they were winning all the head balls that we were trying to go forward with. And as far as going, for them going forward, their forwards were controlling Freddie pretty well. I was surprised at how well that they did. Lee did his best, and Chibi is building his game up, and I think it's getting better and better. He just needs the time out there. The guy who was getting beat up a lot though early in the game and actually got beat a couple of times was Blake, and that was they put. I'd have to check again, but it looked like they had one of their most experienced players on him, and took him to the cleaners a couple of times. And Blake finally, I think, decided to muscle up and looked really good a lot better in the second half, I should say. And Arturo's got to stop whining and worried about getting knocked down. He just needs to use his experience and knock a few people down himself, which he does very well. But when he knocks him down, he got to keep his mouth shut and not talk to the ref and be concerned about it. So, sorry, did I say that loud?
Was that supposed to be the inside thought?
No, you're right on that, and I think he does need to do that because we've seen him already get a yellow in a few times, right? Because of that, and it's like, all right, we could have let us, like I always tell the players, right? Let us do the arguing, let us do the yelling, because we can't get yellow, red, right? Well, at least from the referee. As much as it seemed like an open cup, like he was going towards us, but we were ready for it. I think, Sharon, the reason why they were doing a lot of that, like I do think that pitch just wasn't fit for playing. I just feel like I'm not, a lot of us don't like baseball stadiums for soccer stadiums. I don't know why they introduced a new team and they decided, all right, well, there's a baseball stadium, they can play there. So I don't know, I'm a little worried they're moving backwards instead of moving forward. I mean, they'd be better off playing at a high school stadium. I mean, Valley's, I know it wasn't their stadium, but the stadium they played in, 1,000 times better than where these guys are playing at. So that would be a better place, I would say. It's just do a high school stadium for the meantime, then force a baseball stadium to adapt, right? Just for everyone's, for the game's sake, right?
Jared has a comment.
Well, let's remember that even educational institutions, facilities like high schools, like with Oklahoma City, and also even junior colleges like Laney College, I mean, they're all going to have their issues as far as this goes. This baseball stadium, from what I can see on the broadcast, it looked like it was even smaller than Laney College. So that's kind of concerning. I mean, it's already cramped up enough with the fact that, yes, it is a minor league baseball park, but also one that's in the shadow of Shea Stadium. I can't even get these stadium names straight. City Field. There we go. City Field. I mean, this was just a very, very itty bitty field. Oakland is spacious compared to this. And I'm sure John can agree as well. I mean, for one, with the crowd, although, yes, midweek and low temperatures, that plays a role in it. But still, if you die hard, you try to find your way to get out there. But they need a bigger stadium than this if they're going to continue. Some may feel it's fine for the Super League, but what about the men? No, get them both a workable venue. Something bigger than this.
Yeah,
So
and this
Rihanna-
is League 1 or League 2, I would say, like, especially if there's pro rail, right? It's like they should do better than League 1, League 2.
So there were some dangling queries handed to Rion. Your turn to respond to all like 25 dangling queries that were already sent to you.
Yeah. Okay. So, firstly, about the aerial duels, Sacramento actually did hold the advantage in aerial duels 1 with a 58-42 advantage over Brooklyn. Lee Desmond, Freddie Kleeman dominated with touches on the ball at 100 touches for Desmond, 99 touches for Kleeman. Next one was Benitez, which at 95, no one else came close to the amount of touches they had. I mean, the thing with this field is, you have 5 midfielders for the Republic. You have 5 midfielders for Brooklyn. That's almost a full squad just in that midfield of it's basically a pinball machine right there that you have to play through. And then plus, with the fact that the Winds are not allowing long balls to be as successful as they should be, there's almost nowhere to go on this field. So that's why you see Desmond, Kleeman, Benitez have those inflated touch numbers, because the back was the safest spot to be in for the ball for the Republic. This field is just weird in like it's everything right and wrong with American soccer at the moment. Like I like how weird and small and like just insane we play soccer on a field like this, but also like it should be better. Like this should be better. My thoughts on the match in general, I mean, I can't complain too much. Like a point away from home on a field that isn't meant for any team to be successful, like I'm fine with that. Nice to see Jack Gurr come back. This was a match that happened, I guess.
It's crazy. And then we put up a little poll of asking how many rolls Jack did when he was fouled. And we gave him options of 4, 5, or more than Dougie. And it was amazing how many people responded more than Dougie. Because so some people might not get it because they might be too new to either the team or to whatever. But back when we had Dougie playing for us, he had this most famous epic roll in a foul. And that was when Jared wished that McCooney would make a Dougie roll on his behalf, a sushi roll. And now he's chomping at the bit to have a Gurr roll because it exceeded Dougie's number roll number. So it's just kind of, we digress for a bit.
Okay, now with that whole GUR roll thing, that kind of made me space out on what I was going to say now. So,
Dougie.
oh, yes, Dougie. This man got memed by ESPN. That's how big his roll game was.
I should have tagged ESPN when I put that poll up with Jack's rolls. Oh man, I missed an opportunity, guys.
Yeah, no, ESPN did it really good, right? I think that where's Dougie at? He was rolling around the world, no?
I think there were a lot of different avenues that picked up the meme with Dougie. I think it was even more than ESPN, but it was probably the best. But I thought it was interesting that there were many people that responded more than Dougie.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's the stats again. We could talk about it here for days, but yeah, we'll never know why USL was like, yeah, let's do another baseball stadium, especially when Fresno FC moved out because of the issue with the baseball stadium, right? Back when they were trying to phase that out. So makes you question what happened there. But all right, well, let's go ahead and take a look at what happened in the match. Thanks, Rihanna, for sharing the highlights here. So let's take a look at the goal that they score on us here. We'll get that loaded here on the screen.
Do we have to?
Unfortunately, we have to, yeah, just to
I think I
talk
have to go
about
clean the cat
what
box.
we're here. Up in the 27th minute, and oh yeah, man, it was difficult watching on TV because you didn't really know what line was the outline or what, because there's too many lines going on there. But guy ends up pulling a shot from a little bit of a distance there, gets to the left corner of Danny and ends up getting the goal there. And yeah, again, it was just really difficult to play soccer in this field. I know I'll keep on repeating it over and over again, but a lot of the mistakes that do happen, maybe in a different field, they wouldn't happen otherwise because they're all clustered right there. And Freddie was trying to clear the ball out. And as I like that Rian's comparison to a pinball machine. I mean, it's like a pinball machine, right? It's like the ball hit something, it hit something else, and then boom, it was out. In this case, it was a goal for them. And so that's what happened here. Now, I guess credit to their guy, right? Because he was able to still pull a shot with everyone being all clustered there. But still,
I believe his last name was Anderson.
Yep.
Yeah. That was,
That's my last name. So, hey, more power.
oh, yeah. Explains how you scored the goal there. So you were a striker too, right? In your playing days?
Yes,
So,
yes.
yeah.
I love scoring from distance or close. Doesn't matter.
but yeah, what were you guys' thoughts on the goal we get scored on 27 minutes?
And all that traffic that we had, and they're somehow still able to get Anderson to peek in and just get it past all these the defenders right here, and of course the Danny. So they got the goal, and like that sign says, all we got was took us.
I just want to say this goal came kind of against the run of play. Sacramento were, at least kind of putting pressure on the Brooklyn box at this point in time. And I think the play before this, Sacramento put in a cross that got deflected or something like that and got put out for a goal kick. And then that's how Brooklyn broke out into a counterattack. Yeah, it seemed, there seems to be at least some communication issue a little bit with both GB and Freddie trying to go for the same ball, but it's a tiny field. Like anywhere the ball goes, it could go honestly anywhere. So I don't blame them for both trying to secure that. Unfortunate bounce to fall right to Anderson, and he does a great job of shifting his weight, putting it back on his right foot, and pulling off a curling shot. Just solid goal. I can't really say much else besides that.
Yeah. John's back with us. You there, John? You can hear us,
Yes.
John?
Yep.
we want to hear your thoughts. You were there at the stadium. You were pretty much right there on the field, right? Like how was this goal like from your perspective?
I agree. It seemed to be a little bit against the run of play, and I actually was doing a video right at this point, and I videoed the goal, but you couldn't see it because it was so clustered in the middle. But I think you saw one of the main problems I've seen from this team all year is that when balls go to the middle, everybody really they close on it, and that backside is left open. There's always a little an open area on the back that a midfielder either hasn't dropped to, or the back defender is not staying back. They're driving in. It's happened to Michelle on the other side a couple times, and I've even seen Lee basically over on the far edge of the box instead of in the middle where I would expect him to be with the other two guys on the going out further. So we've got to find a way to close down that backside a little bit more, and it's even more. It seems to be more open even when we get into corners. So I think that's what this shows the weakness that I think we currently have in our defense. That's all this goal was. But look at that shot. That shot's actually we have two guys in alignment, and the guy knows how to put it around him. And meanwhile, Danny doesn't get to see the ball until after it gets past Lee. So it's he doesn't have a chance.
Yeah, no, that was that was a rough goal to watch there because especially Danny playing in his home state, we kind of wanted him to get a clean sheet there. That would have been great. However, though, game went on. That was the first half. As you guys mentioned earlier, Jack gets subbed in. We're all happy because we know Jack really wanted to, get back into the game this season. First match coming back after that long injury. And what does he do, right? He gets us a penalty kick on the very last minute. And I don't care what other player would have been there in that, which Cambridge probably would have been there if Jack hadn't gotten subbed in. I don't think the same thing happens because we know Jack has that speed. He showed it right here, right? He anticipates the play. It's the very last play of the game, so you got to do what Jack did. Defender just felt Jack's presence there. It was, if soccer could have two penalty kicks off one play, this would have been it right here, right? Because he yanks his jersey and then he kicks him, on the bottom. Two plays right there. I wish that there was a rule saying like, hey, if you do two fouls, that's two penalty kicks for you. It almost seems fair, right?
But dude, think of how many times Mark Anthony Kaye, Aaron Essel would end up getting those two fouls called against them. So no, I don't want that.
It'll equal out, right?
Stop.
We would have won this game though. I think
No more
maybe too.
No more Essel penalty kicks. No more Essel penalty kicks.
Oh yeah. Oh no. Yeah, no more of that. And no more yellow cards for some, but for me this week was good. Anyhow, you get that, and then of course you guys mentioned the Jack roll, but regardless of roll, no roll, we were still gonna get the penalty. The roll was just an extra. The roll was just an extra showing there. But other than that, we get the penalty kick. Michel Benitez, great kick, right to the right corner of the goalkeeper where he could never get to it. You almost wonder he probably did see the goalkeeper move slightly right to the left, and that's why he placed the shot right there so cleanly to get us that tying goal last minute. And it feels good to be on the other side of scoring a goal at the last minute because I feel like it's been a while since we've been there. But what were your guys' thoughts? I'm sure you guys were celebrating like crazy right after the last minute, Ty.
I'm sure it gave John a reason to jump up and down and get warm again.
If you look down at the bottom of the corner, that big red blob, that's me with the hat and everything else on. I was already scanning.
That's you?
Well, that was I figured that was
you.
I know there was a beanie involved.
Yeah, I had to switch to the beanie in the second half And I know I'm big, but that bulkiness is from 7 layers, not from not
Dude,
from me eating too much.
I think there was a camera angle that showed this dude, and I think it was you straight on, and it's kind of like, that doesn't look like Jon. But during the game, the regular broadcast, because I watched the ESPN Plus broadcast, I think they showed a guy, and it's like, I can't tell if that's Jon or not. That guy looks awful big. And so that was you, because you're not big.
Oh, you can see I've got the flag up even.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say in the group chat, I asked, is Jon wearing a beanie? And yeah, and I figured probably not that many Republic FC fans out there, maybe a few, but not a large number. So that kind of narrowed it down a little bit.
I think we were about 10% of the fan base that was out there.
Oh boy!
They did
Well,
show
you
a few other
had-
fans on the screen.
All 15 of us.
You had Gaga. I mean, that's Danny's mother-in-law. Her name is
Yeah.
Nancy, but everybody says, she always tells everybody, call me Gaga, because whatever, I guess that's her.
Yeah, there's about 12 of them.
Yeah. So yeah, that would be about 10% of the fans that showed up were for the Republic. So that's awesome.
There were some business fans up in the boxes because they had an earlier party, but plus it was warm up there. But the fans in the stands were minimal. I'm not sure I would have gone to a game if I was a Brooklynite and having to commute and then getting home and going, I don't want to go down to Coney and get cold all night. So I in some respects don't blame them for not showing up.
So Neil, the broadcasters mentioned that Neil Collins had a jacket on, him being from Scotland. I mean, that's like the weather. And it was just a thin jacket. It wasn't like a big old parka or anything like that. And somebody mentioned that's the most clothes that we've ever seen Neil Collins put on for a match. Because I guess he used to he's used to the cold weather growing up. So that's Scotland weather for him. Well, very good. Did you get a chance to see any of the players after the match? Because this is how it ends. We tied 1-1. Did you get a chance to shake hands, see any of the players, any of that sort of stuff?
Yeah, I'd say almost 3/4 of them came over just to shake my hand and say thanks. And then I quickly ran over to Danny's family. Sort of was adopted in and told to come stand there, and then we had pictures taken.
Oh.
And then Danny came up in the stands and to hang out with his family. So then the security got a little bit antsy and wanted us to go. So
Understood.
But
I think I have the photo.
I even got a chance to catch the players as they came in. Before the game, they brought them all in their Escalades, and there were like 5 Escalades with players and coaches. They come rolling up and letting them out. So they were kind of confused that there was somebody, with the Republic gear on, and shouting them in. There was also one Brooklyn guy who was there to get Mark Anthony Kaye's signature because he had a Canadian national team card, and I didn't know that he wasn't there. So what happened was one of the players told him he wasn't even with the team, and the poor guy had been hanging around for an hour.
Where's this photo? Where'd this one get posted? Is this on Sac Republic's website?
No, this was just in the media, in the media debrief.
Oh, that is so awesome. Send that to us. Well,
Yeah.
I don't have it. That is a beautiful photo. I bet, Jon, did you already get that photo?
No, I haven't seen it.
Oh, Rian he'll pass it around. This is awesome because I know that there's coaches interviews, and I think we already saw a written interview on Sac Republic's website of what coach said after the game. But when it was over in the chat, we all felt like it was a win, even though it was a tie. It felt like a win because we were able to, in the dying minutes, get the score so we could walk away with a point. But man, that's a great photo.
I'm trying to get a screenshot of it when I was watching on my tablet, because I was trying to get a screenshot, trying to figure it out to get it, and it ended up taking it as it faded off that photo. So I'm glad that this photo is circulating, more or less.
Yeah, Rihanna. Luis, did you also get the media?
Yeah.
Okay.
They
You guys
haven't
gotta share this shit, man. I mean, share this stuff. We don't get to see it. You guys are like pawing through all this good stuff, and none of us get. I mean,
Oh, yeah. I hadn't even seen it yet. First time seeing it. No, John, where are you in this picture? I'm like, I'm trying to find Waldo here. I'm like, where?
look for the white.
No, this one there's still light. This was taken before the match.
Oh, before.
Okay, this was pre beanie.
Okay.
Okay, that makes it more
There's a post one that should have Danny in it, and then I'd be over by that guy with the red hat on.
So, Irene was also at the match, I believe. Did you see her, photographer Irene?
Or photographer, yeah, she got my picture a couple times, and she'd come over and talk to me just because, the other photographers weren't talking to her. So,
well, shout out to Irene for making the trip to Brooklyn. I know she has friends in New York, so it probably she was able to visit, with her.
Yeah, and Forster actually, Jago actually had some friends there too, so that was interesting. I think she got a couple of photos of them.
Dude, that looks like 150 people there. I think you guys were the fan base.
I didn't realize there was that many people at that point, but some of those people on the far right actually, I think, still have Brooklyn jerseys on.
Oh, okay. Screw 'em.
I don't know. That looks about the same size of when I went up to Jersey a couple of years ago to see us play against Red Bulls too. I mean, as far as the Republic FC fans or family of players, about the same size.
Well, I can't wait to see everything. Now, are there any coach or player comments that are worth posting right here, right now, before we move on to the next segment and talk about our opponent this weekend? That you guys have.
Rian's getting cute right here on the screen. Let's see. Let's go ahead and zoom in a little right there. So it looks like
that was already published. The first coach's comments. Oh no, maybe it was Jack's comments.
Yeah, so it looks like coach commenting on Jack Gurr's return to the pitch. He said, I think Jack has shown his worth over 3 or 4 seasons at this club, and straight away we brought him on, and he was able to add that impetus. And the reason that he's such a top player is because he makes those runs right at the very depth and forces that play, and we get that penalty. So it's great to have him back. We've definitely missed him, and it's going to be exciting to see him come back. Yeah, I mean, there you go. Just to speak again to Jack, and always having that speed. Michel Benitez impact. Michel had just been fantastic the moment he came here. He played the most minutes last year as a field player, and straight away this year he's been solid for us. We played him at midfield tonight in the second half, and he really helped push the game. And then the big moment, he stepped up. And as I say, that's why he plays all those minutes. It's because when the big moments come, he's ready to step up. So we're thrilled to have him, and we need more guys like him to step up and help out. And we didn't talk about him previously with Michel. He had that really good shot that should have been a goal, right? John, I know you saw it there. It hits the top right, I think, side of the post, and it would have been maybe goal of the week if that would have gone in. Remember that one?
Yeah, I mean, Michel is somebody said because he scored the goal, he gets man of the match. Michel, I think, was man of the match anyway. He was all over the field. He was controlling what he could control, and he surprised the opposing team with his height on his jumps. He was beating guys to balls that should not have been beaten, and that's because, as the coach said, he always shows up and he works his backside off. So
He's the hard. Yeah, besides the two center backs, I think he's definitely the hardest working player on the squad. And, as far as playing with joy, he's happy. The person who plays with the most joy on the team is, of course, Ajago.
Yeah. And I'll say Michel, a lot of the reason why he is the way he is because he has that Liga MX experience playing. And anyone who plays for Chivas, which he did there, of course, for a few years, that's his team where he first started playing at. There's a lot of physical demands that it takes to play for that team. Like that, they are some of the most toughest players to play against. And yeah, so I could see why he has that mentality because that's the mentality that team has. But let's go ahead and mention here two comments that Jack mentioned. One on the match on Tuesday. Disappointing to not get 3 points, but it's a point away from home, so we will take it in the end. It's a tough environment to play in. Yeah, there you go. Back on, we were talking about the pitch earlier. And then on his return to the pitch, it has been a very frustrating start of the season, watching the boys and not being able to contribute. I focused every day on getting these small details correct, so when I come back, I'm back for the long run. I'm looking forward to helping the team as much as I can for the upcoming games. And one would only imagine that he might likely start on Saturday just because he got subbed in this match. And I think he looks like he's ready. I don't know, John, how you viewed that, but it looks like he's ready to start a match, right? Based on the minutes he played.
I think Jack feels he's ready. And I think he was held out a long time in order to make sure that they had the right spot to put him in on. The real question is USL Cup. Are they going to expend him a full game and test him in this game? Might be the best way to do it because he could get away with doing 90% and probably still be one of the stars on the field. So I say he's ready, but I would probably just work him for the second half or something again instead of going the whole game.
I'd bring him in the first. I'd bring him in the beginning so that we can get on the board and kind of slam it, jam it. Try to get 3 quick goals because that's my score line, Rihanna. If you're taking notes, I've got us 3-0. So I think Jack is going to be starting. That's what I hope. And then sub him off later. I hope Dami starts and I hope Jack starts because I think with those two, I think we have a chance to just slam it, jam.
All right, well, let's go ahead and talk about the USL Cup. So just here so you guys are aware, for those of you who maybe are first learning about the Cup, or just a reminder for everyone, because I know it's been a year since the USL Cup happened. It's no longer called Jägermeister Cup. It's Prinks Tires USL Cup. Might not have the same ring to it, but that's what it's called now. So let's go ahead and talk about the format here, so everyone knows what that is all about here. So, all right, first games are this Saturday, of course. This is throughout the country. Final game, at least from what we're seeing here on the Wikipedia page, it looks like it's going to be on October 4th. I don't think that's correct because that was my birthday last year, and I don't think they would be playing on what would that be, Sunday, I think. I'm trying to remember when my birthday would be. But anyhow, it's going to be sometime in October, the final game there. The Cup is split between two, so USL Championship teams and USL League One teams. You got 7 groups, each one with 6 or 7 teams, of course, depending on the region. Typically, groups are based on the region where the teams are located at, is how they divide their groups. So for a total of 42 clubs, 25 from USL Championship, 17 from League One, total 82 games. The group stage is from, again, this Saturday until July 11th. Then you got the quarterfinals in August with 8 clubs, semifinals, and final. Pretty much once a month. August, September, October is when that gets rolled around. It looks like October 2nd is when the final is gonna be
gonna quickly. The USL site has it as a floating October 2nd to October 4th, so it's somewhere on that weekend.
Oh, okay. All right. That makes sense, just to account for any teams that might be playing another day. So sometime around there, beginning of October. So again, divided into 7 groups, and it's a little bit of an interesting dynamic here, right? So when we look at Sac Republic's group here, for example, we're the ones that have one of those 6-team groups. Other teams have 7 team groups. But for our group, you got AC Boise, the newcomers to League One, got Las Vegas Lights, Monterey, Oakland, and then Spokane. So we got 2 USL League One clubs there in the mix. Interestingly, this year, not AB Alta is not in the mix because they just scrambled it a little different to, I'm assuming, to help AC Boise maybe not have a travel to down south and Spokane. Being I think it just fit more not having AC Boise. Now every team plays a total of 4 games, 2 home, 2 away. They don't play against all the teams in their group, which I know makes for a weird dynamic of sorts there. So for instance, for us, we will not be playing against Las Vegas Lights as our opponent there, but we will be playing against all the other teams. So that's pretty much how that works. And then out of the 7 groups, the first place team advances, and then out of the 7 groups, the best second team placed in any group is the one that gets the last and final ticket to the knockout stage, which is always a challenge. We know how this goes. We saw it last year. You're trying to do the calculator to see who scored more goals, because that's the criteria for calculating who gets to be up higher on the group as a level. And then also when you look at the best performing second place team, that's another one as well. So you got to score a lot of goals is the name of the game here in the USL Cup, or just make sure that you get the most points you could be in first place. So not an easy cup to play in by any means, because you have to be a solid performing team. And we remember last year that we actually were able to pretty much get to the final right without losing. And then of course we ended up losing in the final there. So we had a pretty good streak, and that's what you need here. You can't. So basically you tie, you lose, your odds are really low unless you get that second place. But even then it's still really low.
Luis, don't forget about the penalty kicks. We don't draw in this competition.
Oh yeah, that's true. So you have penalty kicks if there is a draw after the regular time, no extra time like US Open Cup. They just go straight to penalty kicks. So I know we're just coming off a USL Open Cup where we had penalties, but just so people know, yeah, that's true. We might potentially see more of that. Hopefully we don't, because we already know what we went through, and there is that. Now, if there is penalties, there is the rule that gets activated, right, where both teams do get 1 point, and then the winning team gets an additional point. If I'm correct there on that, right, Rion? They haven't changed that? All right, so so that's how this competition goes. But even if you tie again, you don't want to lose a point. You lose a point even in a tie and winning a penalty kick, and you're still low. So yeah, that's the USL Cup and how that works like. Now that we covered that, let's go ahead and talk about our first opponent in USL Cup. What do we have to bring to the table, the recent form here and how it stands? So last game they played was last Saturday in USL League One. They beat Richmond Kickers at home 3-1. Before that, they beat AB Alta also 3-1. Before that, they tied against AC Boise 1-1. And then before that, it was a US Open Cup game where they took Colorado Springs up to penalty kicks at Colorado, of all places. After 1-1, they lost 4-2 in penalties. But we know Colorado in the US Open Cup is trying to make a run for it. So not an easy place to play at, right? Sporting Kansas City knows it because they lost 3-0. So we have to keep that in note, that you never know with this team, right? I mean, this team won. They did that. Last time they lost, in fact, was actually against Charlotte Independence. That was a 4-0 loss back in March 27th. But in April, they've been doing pretty well. I mean, US Open Cup aside, but still.
I just changed my prediction.
Oh, yeah. I figured. I was like, and me saying all this, and I kind of heard you say something. I was like, I figured that's going to change. It's not an easy team to play against. In fact, So yeah, that's Spokane Velocity. Now it's a shame that Pierre Reedy can't play, right? Because this is his former team, and it would have been cool for him to play against his former team there. We have no updates right on him either, right? I don't know if any of you have even been able to speak with him or what.
He just sits in the stands. He's just like Jared Timmer. So I have not seen him in any of the training videos. I don't know if anybody else has seen him in training videos, but when you don't see a player in the training videos, chances are he's still a few weeks out.
Yeah, I can go a little into Spokane and what they've been actually doing up until now, because I do have a preview on them coming on Friday. But Spokane, they're kind of like changing all over the place, like throughout the season. Bot Mob in their 6 league matches has them playing in 4 different formations. It's kind of a weird system that they play. Look for them to play and overload the wings. Siobhan John Brown is their leading scorer right now, and he's kind of on a hot streak, scoring in the previous 2 games. This also, one more thing, their goalkeepers, like, they have the currently reigning USL League 1 Golden Glove, but he's sitting as backup to the guy who got second team USL League 1. So, like, they have a wealth of goalkeeping talent, but they haven't seemed to keep a clean sheet because they only got 1 clean sheet, and that was like at the start of the season. So, goals are on the table for Sacramento here.
So we just have to pick apart their defense. And on our field, we can do that because we got a big field.
Yep. Look for them to, like, kind of try and find space.
Thank you. Thank you, Luis, for letting me interrupt you.
Oh yeah, no, all good. Yeah, I'm glad Rian teased your team preview too, because that's already up on the website. I know they've been keeping you busy this week when there's a lot going on. So yeah, so that's Spokane. We'll see how that goes. Again, game is on Saturday, 7 p.m. typical league start time. Be there, and if we're tying and you're one of those fans that leaves like in the last minutes, don't leave. Again, stay in your seats. Don't leave because the game isn't over yet. So just stay there, because even in these games, I feel like teams don't want to go to penalty kicks because you're getting a point, but you could potentially lose out to your group opponent. All right, well, let's go ahead and move on to podcast winner dinner. Again, we had proxies. Rian kind of gave up his thoughts earlier already on that, but we will probably have proxies again. That'll happen at some point. I know, Rian, you probably don't like that, but actually, no, maybe you would, right? Because you could just the rule generally with proxies, and I don't think we're changing that, is you can't pick the same proxy again that you already picked before, which is a shame for some of us, but that's the way that works. So let's go ahead and look at the numbers that we had here. So in this game against Brooklyn, Sharon got a point with Sack getting the first yellow card. Jared also got a point for the same reason. I got 2 points. Thank you, Amy, for Sack getting the first yellow card, and Essel getting the first yellow card. And then Rian, again, got 0 points. And
ouch.
I don't know when the last time, I don't even know if there has been a time when Rian's gotten 0 points, but I mean, that's when Rian didn't pick his picks if he doesn't get any point at all.
So let's look at the totals.
So let's go ahead and look at the totals. I'm still leading the way with 16 points in first, and then you got Sharon in second, 14 points, and then Rian in third with 12 points, and Jared in the basement there still 9 points. But yeah, I mean, we're all 2 points away, 4 points away, 3 points away, depending on who you are. So yeah, I mean, we're all still a game away from catching up to someone else, right? I mean, not too far. We're like moving up in the standings.
Okay, let's pick our new picks.
But again, yeah, USL Cup, there's a lot of points. Again, if you guys remember, same rules as with US Open Cup, where we have a few extra picks. In this case, there is no extra time though. So if there is PKs, we do mention who the PK team winner would be like, again, if there's a tie. So Sharon, I know you've been adjusting your score. Yeah, let us know what it is. And Rian might be taking note, but yeah.
So I've got a 3-1 of us winning. Kyle is of my 2 goal scorers. I've got Kyle and Dummy. My assist is Jack, and we don't get a backup on that one. Okay. I still think we're going to get the first yellow card. It's going to tug a shirt. And I'm debating between Pep or Jago pulling the first yellow. Who would you pick, Rian? Because they're probably
I would pick Pierre Reedy. I would pick Jared Timmer. I would pick
Mark Anthony K.
Mark Anthony K. I would pick Rodrigo Lopez.
Okay.
Maybe Coach too, eh?
Coach, what? What if the bench got the first yellow? What? Can we have like a way? Because our bench has been getting yellow cards, and so is our coach. What if they got the first yellow? Can we put them in there? That's true. I know we should have that as an option, but I'm not going to say that. And yeah, dang, I don't even know if Essel's. I don't know who's going to be starting. Who touches the ball a lot? Who gets weird out? Blake Willie. He just played. I'm going to go with Pep Casas. I have a feeling they're going to let him see some pitch.
Oh yeah, that's true. I feel like he needs some minutes still.
Okay.
And then for a team, if there is penalty kicks.
Oh, us. Zach. Okay.
All right, Jared.
All right. Well, it's been a while since we played against Tacoma, but I'm going to say we end up winning 2-0.
Tacoma? Spokane.
Teams are the same.
This is Spokane. It's not Tacoma.
All the Washington teams look alike to me at this point. So as many times we played them, but nonetheless, the Spokane. I'd say we end up beating them 2-0. Goals, I am going to say either Ajago or what is another one? Yeah, let's go Lee Desmond. Why not? Lee Desmond. First yellow is going to be against Spokane. And our first assist. Yeah, might as well go with Jack Gurr on that one as well. Then first yellow player, I'm going to say Essel. And penalty kicks, we end up winning.
All right. As for mine, I'm going to go with it's like 2-1 for the goal scorers. I'm going to go with, let's see. I'll go with Kyle. Then I'm going to go with Arturo. For the first assist, I'm going to go with Michelle. For the first yellow card, I'm going to go with Spokane. First player to get the yellow card, I'm going to go with Freddie. And then for the penalty kicks winner, there's penalty kicks, Zach. Rian.
Alrighty, I'm going to go with a SAC 2-0 win. Goal scorers, I'm going to go with Kyle Edwards and Vonner. First assist. You guys really made me doubt my pick here. Because I was thinking Gurr, but oh my god, that would be so good. I'm gonna stick with my pick. I'm gonna go with Blake as getting first assist. First yellow, I'm gonna go with Sack. And I'm gonna go with Essel getting the first yellow for Sack. And if there's penalties, I'm gonna go with a Sacramento win.
So there's a couple 2-0s on the plate, a 2-1. We should let John do a pick.
Yeah, John, are you still there? I know your screen kind of.
He's black.
I don't know if you could hear us, John. You couldn't rejoin. Okay,
no,
he might be rejoining.
Okay.
Yeah, one pick too, but yeah, interesting picks. Yeah, I mean, I was just waiting for Rihanna to say 3-1, and then it would have been kind of close to to Sharon's. Well, except that Jack and first player to get the yellow card. But maybe a strategic move by Rian Spar though, because he's trying to catch up to you, Sharon.
Oh, we're all trying to catch up.
I had these written down before we recorded. Just gonna say that.
Oh.
The only thing I changed was the score line.
Oh, that's true. Yeah. Gave him a goal there. So that'll be that. But interesting. Yeah. Two of you say Sac. Me and Jared say Spokane. We're gonna be celebrating a first yellow card again, as is usual here.
So Jon Crawford said that the connection dropped him again, and he said thanks for including him and Go Republic. And I think we gotta combine our golazos of gratitude with our final parting words so we can wrap this puppy up. We're at an hour.
Yeah. So let's go ahead and move on then to golazo of gratitude and our final parting words here. I think we're gonna start doing that now since we kind of it's like two segments that are all in one there. So Sharon, go ahead and introduce us and go ahead and give us your golaz.
So a big golazo of gratitude for the future of on Saturday, busy day, big cleanup for my neighborhood association and all the volunteers and the volunteers to the trash group. We're going to do this massive in celebration of Earth Day cleanup right near where I live. So it'll be great. Really appreciate that. Big golazo of gratitude for Tower Bridge Battalion. They held a town hall last night. I was not able to attend because I was running my own board meeting. Thank you for them. And they're going to be having a good tailgate this weekend. Happy anniversary to Mike and Chris. They will be celebrating at the tailgate with tiki themed Polynesian style stuff, pulled pork sandwiches and other good stuff. So stop by the tailgate. And one final golazo of gratitude to the city of Elk Grove, where we were awarded a $3,000 grant for our giant Music by the Lake free community concert that happens on August 29th. The city was generous in that award. It helps us defray the massive costs of running a free community event. So really grateful for that. And that is what I have.
Yeah, so golazos for me. Firstly, to like picnic day, it's always a fun time down in Davis. Just a fun day to like walk around, see like the sites. I showed my mom around like campus and like the classes I took, and places where some traumatic memories happened. Where that's a building where I failed a test. That's a building where I failed a test. Stuff like that. Fun memories. Another golazo to FIFA, I guess. I got another ticket to the World Cup. I'm gonna go.
I hate you. I totally hate you.
I'm gonna go to Kansas City. I'm gonna go see Argentina and Messi play. And,
you got those tickets? The ones you were looking at?
Yeah, and I didn't get scalped because FIFA dropped another set of tickets. And yeah.
What did you pay? How much did you have to pay?
Let's not get into that.
Okay, see, because I was able to get it the last minute tickets, but I was not going to pay $1,000 for some, third tier nosebleed seat.
Yeah, they were $800 tickets, but in like the lower section. So like I'm in the
like I said,
decent seat.
Oh my God, you are so lucky. What a
yeah.
Okay, I'll get off. Finish your golazos.
One more golazo to Noah Khan. He dropped a new album the day of recording, and I'm gonna go listen to that once we're done recording. Final words. Keep an eye on the site. I will have my team preview up today, I guess, by the time this comes out. Yeah, read the match previews, read all the recaps, and Go Republic.
First of all, I gotta say, Rihanna's reason why I can't barely find a hotel room for under $600 for the Human League concert I'm going to in Grand Prairie. Thank you a lot, sir. But all seriously, golazos of gratitude to Motel 6 in Irving for being the hotel that could still manage to get a room for $61, even with the World Cup happening down the road in Arlington. So thankful for that. Guazos of gratitude going after Tower Bridge Battalion, especially with the town hall last night. They floated a lot of great ideas. We'll just have to see which one sticks to the wall and go from there. And of course, Guazos of gratitude to all of our listeners, to the group chat this past Tuesday night, keeping it lively. And as far as final words, just, oh yes, let's remember, Huddersfield Town Women's Club are Women's National League, League One North champions, and they will promote to the Premier Division of the Women's National League. And go Republic, Terriers on top.
Oh, that's awesome. Awesome news there. As for mine, first goal of gratitude goes out to my girlfriend for actually taking care of me earlier this week. I'm actually really thankful that we didn't record a podcast on Monday or Tuesday, because I would have had to cancel on you guys, and you guys would have had someone else here, or Sharon would have been host for this one here. And then another one goes out here to John for joining us here on the podcast. You guys know we always like to hear those away stories, and so there we go. We got another away story to share with everyone here on the podcast. And then another one out to all the listeners and viewers of the podcast, especially on the YouTube channel, because we've gotten a lot more views, and we put out that video about the potential of Vancouver moving to Sac Republic, or to Sacramento, I should say. And we got a lot of views on that one. So thank you for everyone who viewed that. We're going to be doing more of those sometimes, taking segments out of episodes, putting them up on the YouTube channel, similar to how we'll do the same here for the Prinks USL Cup here, and the format. And so you guys will have some tidbits of podcast episodes if maybe you miss an episode and you just want to watch that part or listen to it there as well. But yeah, other than that, y'all check out the website, sacsoccerpod.com. Again, read Rian Saleh's Squirrel blog. It's all on there. Check out the podcast episodes, listen to them, watch them on the podcast episode pages. Also contact us if you'd like. If you have any questions, comments, you can do so there as well. You can leave a review of the podcast. It's been a while since we've gotten one, but we do enjoy reading those whenever those appear on Apple Podcasts, or even directly on the website itself. Or you could even just rate us on Spotify as well. Those two options. And shout out to all of our Spotify listeners, because we got word that we're showing up in first for a few searches related to Sacramento soccer. So shout out to you, because thanks to you, we're right there, and it means a lot to us to show up higher for those kinds of things. But other than that, y'all, with that being said, thank you so much for watching or listening to the State of the Republic podcast tonight. Please subscribe to the podcast if you're watching on YouTube, if you haven't yet, or if you're listening to us, you can do so there as well. But we hope you have a good morning, good night, whenever you're listening or watching, and you'll hear us next week here on State of the Republic podcast. You're on mute, Sharon. It happened at the end.
Jared filled in for me last time and it was perfect. So, whatever. Maybe I lost my job, but the mouth was moving. I figured Jared's voice would just come out. Anyhow, go Republic and cue the music.